Shit just hit the fan in Formula One, and Ferrari is smack dab in the middle of it. The FIA has just launched a full-scale investigation, and guess who's behind the whole damn thing? That's right, Red Bull. They've been keeping their beady little eyes on the prancing horse, and now, armed with some juicy new evidence, they've decided to throw a massive wrench into Ferrari's plans for 2025. If these accusations turn out to be true, we could be looking at a seismic shift in the pecking order before the first lights even go out. Ferrari might be in deep, deep shit before the season even begins, because Red Bull has officially submitted a scathing report to the FIA, demanding swift and merciless action. And let's be real, this isn't just some paddock gossip or idle speculation. No, no, no. This is an all-out nuclear-level assault from the reigning champs on one of their fiercest competitors. And now, Ferrari is under a goddamn microscope. If the FIA finds any foul play, things could get ugly, and fast. So, what exactly did Red Bull uncover? Why the hell is Ferrari under investigation? And most importantly, how is this bombshell going to shake up the battle for the 2025 championship? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into every spicy detail of this scandal, how it might flip the F1 power structure on its head, and why this could be the first shot fired in an all-out war between Red Bull and Ferrari. But before we get into the drama, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. Oh, and drop your take in the comments. Is Ferrari actually guilty, or is this just another tactical mind game from Red Bull? Alright, let's get down to business. The controversy kicked off when Christian Horner, the grandmaster of stirring shit up, voiced his concerns during pre-season testing in Bahrain. Word on the street is that Red Bull has been studying the hell out of their rivals' designs, and something about Ferrari's brand new SF-25 triggered their alarms. Now, last year, all the fuss was about the rear wing flexing too much, but this time, Red Bull is convinced that Ferrari, and maybe even a few other sneaky teams, are bending the rules with a suspiciously flexible front wing. And let's be clear, Red Bull isn't just whining into the void. They've gone all in, escalating things by handing an officially damning report straight to the FIA. And you know what that means. Shit's about to get real. When the FIA launches an investigation, nobody sleeps easy. So, what's the actual problem? According to Red Bull, Ferrari's front wing might be pulling off some illegal gymnastics, flexing way beyond the permitted limits and effectively hacking their car's aerodynamic efficiency depending on its speed. If true, this sneaky design trick would allow Ferrari to haul ass on the straights while still maintaining sky-high levels of downforce in the corners. The FIA has already cranked up the heat by introducing stricter tests for wing flexing ahead of the 2025 season, but if Ferrari has somehow found a loophole, we could be looking at one hell of a scandal. And let's be honest, when has Ferrari ever been a stranger to FIA drama? Red Bull just won't let this shit go, and they are doubling down on their claims that Ferrari has found a sneaky way to sidestep the FIA's regulations. If Ferrari is caught red-handed violating these technical rules, they won't just get a slap on the wrist. Hell no. We're talking about some serious consequences here, ranging from hefty fines to getting their race results straight up wiped off the board or, in the worst-case scenario, having their current front wing design completely banned. And trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Word on the paddock is that Red Bull has delivered a smoking gun to the FIA, an absolute treasure trove of damning evidence. We're talking telemetry data, high-resolution images, and an in-depth aerodynamic analysis of Ferrari's front wing behavior at high speeds. This isn't just some wild conspiracy theory cooked up in Christian Horner's office. This is a deliberate, ruthless power play designed to corner the FIA into taking action. And guess what? The governing body has taken the bait. Reports are swirling that the FIA is gearing up for a full-scale, boots-on-the-ground raid of Ferrari's headquarters in Maranello, where they'll put the SF-25 under the microscope of doom. Now, let's be real. Ferrari went all in for 2025, pushing the limits of innovation after narrowly missing out on the Constructors' Championship to McLaren last season. Desperate to reclaim their former glory, the Scuderia aggressively redesigned their entire aerodynamic package in a bold attempt to outgun Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes. The SF-25 boasts a revamped front wing concept, a slick new pull rod front suspension, and an array of finely tuned aerodynamic elements meant to extract every ounce of performance under different track conditions. But according to Red Bull, Ferrari may have taken a few too many creative liberties with those innovations. And here's the thing, this isn't Red Bull's first rodeo when it comes to using off-track shenanigans to slow down their rivals. Oh no, these guys are seasoned pros at playing the political game. Remember when they lodged complaints against Mercedes and McLaren, trying to get the FIA to put a leash on their competitive edge? This is the same playbook, just with a different target. So why now? Why is Red Bull stirring the pot before the season has even properly kicked off? The answer is stupidly simple. They're feeling the heat. While Max Verstappen, or as some call him, Fappen when things get wild on the internet, is still the frontrunner for the 2025 title, Red Bull isn't as untouchable as they used to be. Even they admit that the RB21 isn't the fire-breathing rocket ship their previous cars were. Ferrari and McLaren have massively closed the gap, and suddenly, Red Bull can't just rely on raw performance to bulldoze through the competition anymore. So, what's their move? Hit Ferrari where it hurts. Right in the goddamn blueprint. If they can create enough chaos and controversy to force Ferrari to redesign critical parts of the SF-25, it could throw their entire development off track. This isn't just about fair play, this is about shaking up the competition before the first race even begins. And if the FIA does find Ferrari guilty, oh boy, the consequences could be catastrophic. For starters, Ferrari would have no choice but to overhaul their front wing, a change that could completely fuck up the car's balance and performance characteristics. We're talking about months of hard work potentially going down the drain, forcing them to go back to the drawing board while Red Bull and McLaren keep marching forward. Bottom line? This could be the biggest shitstorm of the 2025 season before the lights even go out in Bahrain. Ferrari is already having a rough-ass time dealing with an unpredictable car during pre-season testing. And now? Well, this whole FIA investigation could send their problems into overdrive. First off, their handling issues could go from mildly annoying to completely fucking unbearable. And second, if they get slapped with a forced mid-season redesign, they're going to be royally screwed in the development race, because in Formula 1, every goddamn millisecond counts. Being dragged back to the drawing board while Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes keep fine-tuning their machines? That's a recipe for disaster. And that's not even the worst part. This investigation isn't just about aerodynamics and lap times. It has the potential to send shockwaves through Ferrari's entire operation. They've spent years trying to rebrand themselves as a serious, no-nonsense title contender, and now this drama could punch a hole straight through their momentum. If things go sideways, the pressure could get unbearable for team boss Frederic Vasseur, who's been busting his ass trying to steer this team away from its usual chaos. The last thing he needs is internal instability right when they're trying to mount a championship challenge. And let's not forget about the elephant in the room, Lewis goddamn Hamilton. The 7-time champ didn't pack his bags and leave Mercedes just to deal with a car that suddenly needs major reconstructive surgery before he's even settled in. If Ferrari loses performance due to a forced redesign, Hamilton's dream of an 8th world title could go up in smoke before the season even properly begins. That's not the welcome gift he was expecting. And let's be honest, if Ferrari starts under-delivering, there's no way in hell Lewis is going to stay quiet about it. But what if Ferrari comes out of this mess squeaky clean? Well, then we've got a completely different story on our hands. If the FIA clears their name, it's going to be a massive win for the Scuderia, not just because they get to keep all their aerodynamic goodies intact, but because it would expose Red Bull's antics for what they really are, desperate political bullshit. If this turns out to be nothing but a tactical smokescreen from Red Bull, their credibility is going to take a serious hit, and teams might start calling out their complaints for what they are: straight-up sabotage attempts disguised as fair play concerns. Right now, the FIA's investigation is in full swing, and the stakes? They've never been higher. Their upcoming deep dive into Maranello is shaping up to be a pivotal moment that could reshape the entire F1 landscape before the season even starts. If the FIA digs up any dirt, Ferrari could be in for a world of pain: forced design overhauls, hefty fines, or in the worst-case scenario, getting their early race results completely wiped. That wouldn't just cripple their championship campaign, but it could throw the entire team into a spiral of panic and doubt, the exact opposite of what they need right now. But if the FIA finds nothing shady, oh boy, Ferrari will be the ones laughing all the way to the grid. Not only would they keep their performance edge, but they'd publicly humiliate Red Bull by proving that this whole investigation was nothing but a glorified tantrum from a team that's starting to feel the heat. And if that happens, Red Bull's reputation could take a serious beating, especially if this stunt is seen as an underhanded attempt to screw with the FIA's decision-making instead of winning races on pure merit. At this point, this whole fiasco isn't even about front wings and lap times anymore. This has transcended the technical realm and turned into a full-blown power struggle. We're talking about a high-stakes political battle within Formula 1. One that's just as intense as anything that happens on track. Because let's be real, this sport isn't just about who builds the fastest car anymore. It's about who controls the narrative, who can pull the FIA strings, and who emerges as the sport's ultimate power player. And if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that Red Bull has mastered the dark art of F1 politics just as well as they've mastered the game of speed.